Our rights are under attack in Washington, and as they seek to limit women's rights, we in New York seek to protect them.
Governor Andrew Cuomo wants to make Roe v. Wade part of the state constitution to protect abortion rights for women. He made the announcement at yesterday's Day of Action in Albany. News 4's Angela Cristoforos is getting reaction and tells us what it means for women across the states. She joins us now in the newsroom. Angela?
Christy, under what Governor Cuomo is proposing, women in New York State would still have the right to choose, even if Roe v. Wade were to be overturned or altered by the U.S. Supreme Court in the future. It comes as President Trump is expected to announce his nominee for Supreme Court tonight.
As they pull on women's rights, we're going to push back on women's rights.
Crowds cheered in Albany Monday as Governor Cuomo announced a proposal to protect Roe v. Wade by writing it into the state constitution.
I think that we can guarantee, we can have a full expectation, a rational expectation, that Trump's pick for Supreme Court justice will not be good for women's rights.
That's why Governor Cuomo has proposed taking action at the state level in case the possible Supreme Court nominee reverses Roe v. Wade. The landmark 1973 U.S. Supreme Court decision upheld a woman's right to abortion.
Federal law suggests a certain kind of precedent within which states have to comply. That does not mean that states can't have more rights or can't enhance, can't have a stronger law, can't do more than what the federal government does.
We spoke to a UB political science professor about what that would mean for the future of women's rights in New York State.
Even if the right at the federal level goes down, then the states who feel that this is important can still ensconce that right into their constitution, yes.
States could then determine what their stance was in relation to reproductive rights.
Governor Cuomo proposed putting a constitutional amendment protecting Roe v. Wade on the New York State ballot. It would likely be a couple years before any changes would be made to the state constitution. Meanwhile, President Trump is expected to announce his pick for Supreme Court in just a few hours at 8 p.m. Live in the newsroom, Angela Cristoforos, News 4 at 4.